And it doesn't end there. WikiLeaks has also exposed alleged human rights in Kashmir, but this dates back a little further to 2005.
It was a time when the People's Democratic Party and the Congress were in power in the state, and the PDP's famous healing touch policy was there.
Well, in fact, those cables go on to quote the International Red Cross as saying the government turned the other way when these human rights violations were happening.
The Indian government condones torture. That was the assessment of the Red Cross communicated in the US diplomatic cables in April 2005 and now exposed on WikiLeaks. The cables say the International Committee for Red Cross has become frustrated with the Indian government, which they said had not acted to halt the continued ill treatment of detainees. The ICRC concluded that India condones torture and that the torture victims were civilians as militants were routinely killed. NDTV traced one of the alleged torture victims who the Red Cross team met in Srinagar's central jail. Tariq Ahmad, arrested in June 2004 for suspected links to militants, says he was subjected to electric shocks and was often stripped and beaten up while in custody.
उनने पूछा कि आपके साथ क्या टॉर्चर क्या हुआ, मैंने बोला उनको वहाँ ये टॉर्चर हो रहा है कि वहाँ इंसान को बिल्कुल ओपन नंगे किए जाते हैं, वो वहाँ कोई ये नहीं है कि उसको बिल्कुल ओपन किया जाता है और वहाँ उसको करंट दी जाती है, रोलर किया जाता है और पीछे से वो रस्सी बांध के उसको ऊपर चढ़ा दिया जाते हैं, जिसको वो उसको कहते हैं कि उसको जहाज़ पे चढ़ाओ। वो टॉर्चर हमने उनको बता दिया और हमने उनको वो जिस्म भी थोड़ा दिखा दिया पीछे से पीठ को।
The current government in the state says it can only speak for its own regime, while those in power then, the PDP, plainly deny any human rights violations.
These transcripts or these leaks pertain to 2005. Now you can do your own maths as to what regime was in power at that time. All I'm saying is that as far as this government is concerned, we do not condone we do not condone torture. We never have, we never will. In fact, in order to establish transparency, this is the first time that Amnesty International was allowed entry into Jammu and Kashmir.
We inherited a government in 2002, a situation from National Conference where POTA was in place, task force had been formulated, surrendered militants were out, and the situation was pretty bad. Militancy was very high at that point of time. But even then we tried to improve on the situation by adopting the healing touch policy.
In September, the government had to face embarrassment after a video showing young men stripped, abused and paraded naked allegedly by the security forces surfaced in Kashmir. Now the WikiLeaks expose has further weakened the government claims about its human rights record in Kashmir. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.